Welcome to the Great British Pinball Podcast, and here are your hosts Scott Rundell and Neil McRae.
Get to the podcast! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, it's my amazing friend, the most hard-working person in pinball.
I wouldn't say that.
Scott Rundle. How are you, Scott?
Hi, Neil. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, welcome to episode X of the Great
Y.
Great British Pinball Podcast. I think it's 24, but I might be wrong for that. And if it's 24, we should really have a Keith Sutherland impression here. But I can't remember anything about 24 other than the doo-doo-doo-doo ringtone that was on the Cisco phones. How are you, Scott?
I'm good, man. Yeah, it's hot.
I noticed you've got a rather interesting background.
Well, it's been selectively positioned so that it doesn't offend any, Fox licensing or anything like that.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Scott, you don't want to release something before it's properly approved, do you?
Exactly that.
Oh my God! Imagine that. And unfortunately, we're going to start with, is the pinball industry in a panic? Because we've had some amazing games released over the last, 3 months?
Yeah.
And
big IPs, let's give it that.
Yeah, big IPs. And actually, I'm going to start by saying a massive congratulations to Spooky Pinball. Because they launched Evil Dead. It's beautiful. It plays great. It's reliable. They've totally nailed it. And they've shown you it can be done. That you can launch a pinball machine with absolutely no drama. And no AI art, for those that care about that. Then we've had, in the last, month and a half, we've had Kong. My Kong has arrived!
Oh, there it is. Nice.
And I should go turn it on for the background. We've had Dune.
Yes, from Bowls of Fun.
Bowls of Fun. We've had
Harry Potter. JJP.
And the Chamber of AI Ghosts.
We'll go into that in a bit, I think.
And we've had last and maybe the least. We'll wait and see.
Hopefully not least.
Hopefully not least. We've had I Ain't Got Time to Bleed. Although they seem to be bleeding money all over the place.
They've got a lot of challenges. We'll cover
clearly, and I think basic planning seems to be one of them. But basically,
such a harsh critic. There's a reason why, guys. We never get anybody coming. Hey, can we come on your show? Because they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
It's because I'm renownedly hated.
I think it's fair that you would do I think you would definitely have Stern, but they probably wouldn't because they don't like me. And then we wouldn't get Barrels of Fun. No, we maybe
get Barrels of Fun. Actually,
we would get Barrels of Fun. We haven't given them much stick.
No, I just they've done a good job.
Yeah, they have done it well. We'll go into that slightly. I do want to give them some critique.
So it's you that doesn't like them now.
Maybe.
We see your colours. We see your spots, mate.
But Pinball Brothers, I like. You don't. I just. It's funny because it is what it is. But there you go.
I don't want to go into ancient history, but Google Neil McRae and Pinball Brothers. You'll get the story as to why I may find it hard to do business with such an organisation. And the fact that they ruined my dream theme of ABBA. And I'm not going to lie, my mother does know about it. So
The highest authority in the land.
does your mother know? No. If she did, she'd go down to Sweden and blow those fuckers up.
Yeah.
Anyway, my mum's even a bigger ABBA fan than I am. So yeah, we've had I'm trying to think if we missed any. Oh, I guess we should mention CGC and Medieval Madness because they seem to have come off the rails a little bit on that.
And we had Turner Pinball with Merlin's
Yeah,
Magic.
I feel
Merlin's
that
Arcade.
they're just. Yeah, I feel that's kind of almost ancient history. I mean, actually, although
That's
I
what it
did
feels like. I'll tell you what Pinball is really guilty for, and everyone does it. As soon as the release comes out, what's the next one? What's the next one? It's always about the
insane,
next
isn't
one.
it? It's like, give me my next. I've had my hit. I need my next hit.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, I've
It's
never
like
seen
a bunch
anything
of
like
crack addicts. I swear to God.
It's mental. Although I have to say, I remember in my heyday PC gaming, waiting for the next video card.
Yeah.
With a hope that it was.
We
a
should
month
also
longer.
talk about that, right? Linus Tech Tips doing
Oh yeah,
a bit
absolutely.
on Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, which there was good and bad in that video, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which I always say, oil your balls, oil your balls.
Lubricate that playfield. WD-40.
Always have a can of what's that stuff? That dust. So look, a great. I mean, it's kind of the topic, right? It's
What panic?
what how many chickens do I have to sacrifice for a pinball launch or a pinball thing to happen without some sort of kind of,
Drama.
literally
Yeah.
shoot themselves in the freaking head. It's insane. I mean, this is a tiny market. It's a tiny thing.
Yeah.
The hard part about pinball is building the freaking game. Launching it should be like, it's here.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if we're missing. I feel that we should reach out, or actually, look, marketing departments of all the pinball companies. We will give you a fair hearing on why things are the way they are. Right? You can come on. You can say your bit. We may ask one or two questions. Right? Just
A couple
for
of hot
clarity.
seat questions, yeah.
Just for clarity. But we are open to you to come and shill why it is you fucked up the last pinball launch. Right? And just be honest about it. Right? This happened, or we forgot this, or we were too busy doing that and we didn't think of this, right? It happens.
I mean,
right?
there's a couple of things that I know had happened. So with Pinball Brothers, they even admitted to it on a live stream. I can't remember if it was with Enzo or if it was with Jeff from Dirty Paws, one of the two. But Daniel, the CEO at Pinball Brothers, said that the marketing, well, let's just say the individual that was responsible for uploading the YouTube videos, listed
now been like taken to the chopping block.
Well, it feels like he metaphorically has, at least anyway, from everyone's point of view. God, the witch hunt on that guy. I feel sorry to be him.
I mean,
but,
honestly, that guy is like unemployed. I mean, he should keep it a secret because
yeah,
that whole tease thing has turned into farce of the century.
Well, I was going to say he listed the YouTube video. He uploaded it and then he put it unlisted. He didn't set it to private. He set it to unlisted. And anyone who's anyone knows you can search through Google and pick up unlisted items. It is very easy if you know what you're doing. Like it doesn't take. It's not hacking at all.
Who would have thought that Google search would make it easy to search and find shit? I mean, look, you don't need AI to even help you on that. I mean,
what I don't understand is that it does tell you unlisted items can still be viewed, like by people who haven't been given the link.
I think I'm going to use a word, Scott. It is the word of doom because I've had to eradicate it in many of the organizations that I work with.
Right.
Complacency.
Mm.
It is the scariest word known to man. Complacency. And I see a lot of complacency. And actually not, and let me just be fair about that. It's not in the people wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be complacent today, right? It's not that. Of course they don't. They want to wake up and do the best job that they can do.
Sure.
But you've got to have an environment where I call it coach and challenge, right? There's you know, I did this after I'm a massive Ayrton Senna fan, right? And he has this line where he says, if there's a gap and you don't go for that gap, you're no longer a racing driver.
Right.
And it's truth in everything. If you're a product marketeer and you don't go for, you know, the biggest hit on launching your thing, then you're no longer a product marketeer. And
Sure.
I genuinely feel that the pinball industry, the thing that I do when I'm chilling out, relaxing, having fun, is shooting. It's the thing that I've almost got as much passion for pinball as I have for what I do in my day job. And I kind of, I want to cry because it's like, how can there be so many issues? How can there be so much weird stuff? And pinball's trying to say, hey, come into our cool place, and people are looking at us thinking, whoa, I don't need that drama. You know, I don't know, and I genuinely don't want to. I don't, you know, again, I'm not trying to individually criticize anyone except maybe the PB guy, who's in hiding again, along with the guy who designed ABBA. But I just can't help but feel, in a world where it's so difficult for these guys right now, and the pressure must be on, right? And does that lead to some panic? Does it lead to some basic stuff just not being thought of, and you miss it? Like, you know, let's just start with Predator, right? Actually,
Okay.
I'm gonna give some credit here. When I saw the playfield, actually, let me come back to that. When I saw the playfield of Predator, I was like, actually, this has got potential, right?
Sure.
It's a wide body. It's rammed with stuff. The art, Oric, who did the art, you know, really difficult to do the art when you don't have any assets. But, you know, looking at that game, if someone didn't tell me what that game was and I looked at it, I'd say Predator.
Yeah. It's capturing the
It
theme.
smacks, yeah,
Yeah.
it smacks out of you, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then they do the launch video, which is leaked annoyingly, so immediately they lose control of the narrative, right?
Sure.
And you know, I'm on Pinside, Pinball Info, and I'm on about 20 WhatsApp chats where literally everyone was going, "What the actual fuck are they doing?" Because they then put up a game, so they then
No,
catch
no.
up.
The gameplay video is worse because the gameplay
Oh,
video was leaked by a distributor. So that was under NDA. So I found that on a podcast as well from Daniel. So he was very upset when that came out because
well,
he
no,
said
but
that.
wasn't the so.
No, the gameplay video was never meant to be shown. That's why everyone's
Really?
like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. He's even said that. It went on record and he said the gameplay video was never meant to come out and it's meant to come out now in a few days. So for those that are watching this video, it depends when it comes up, but we're recording as of the 20th. So it should be in the next 2 days from now. But basically, he said that video was never meant to see the light of day. It was an early indication to the distributors to say, this is the type of game we're going to be doing. And that was them trying to build more confidence back with the distributors to say, look, we've got this right this time. It's a good, you know, this can be a good game. That video was then leaked, and that's why it shows Arnold, which is why I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek not showing his head, because he's not supposed to be at the moment first and foremost in the shots. He's supposed to be there in the distance, and he's not supposed to say anything yet. And I suspect it's going to be just like Alien. They're working with Disney. They're going to go, okay, we're going to get some money raised by selling the initial whatever it is, 100 games, and then they'll do a Dutch edition or whatever they'll call it.
Dutch edition.
Yeah, it will be called the Dutch edition. Let's face it. It was called the Ripley edition for Alien.
The
So
Dutch edition. I wish I could do a Dutch accent now.
it'll be funny though, right? Because they are Dutch
Army.
people. It's a double whammy on that. But yeah, it's
like the Dutch edition. It'll have like Ajax on the back glass.
But basically, at that point, they'll have the call out. So they're aiming to get call outs. They're aiming to get his assets first and foremost in there. So
yeah. Look, I mean, I genuinely for a minute was tempted to put some money into this game. But
I think I'm the only one that has in the UK.
You have.
I bought it. I bought it.
We found them. We found them. Quick.
Look, I am. Yeah, I am. Look, I can do an Arnold impersonation if you want me to. It's like, get out, run.
Get out.
So, like, from my point of view, it's like I'm a massive Predator fan, and I could care less if Arnold's in it or not. So
I now cannot wait to release this podcast so that the world will pill on Scott even more than it already does, mate.
Just for everyone already knows I was the first one to buy Alien. I had the prototype. I have to be the guy that leads the charge here.
You have to be the second.
Yeah, I am your hero. Not everyone wears capes. Yeah, so from my perspective,
David is literally at Retro Arcade. What was he called? Retro Arcade?
Retro Arcade Specialists, yeah.
So David is literally, he has a small altar with the picture of Scott there. And he goes,
To be fair, and I can't give away numbers, right? He has had other people that are currently awaiting the official gameplay video. And so because there is supposed to be an official one. He keeps laughing. You're so mean. You're so mean. But anyway... Without Arnie,
actually in the middle of it, it's like you're in the middle of the game, and then it comes up
redacted. Look, I joke because it is funny that. Look, bottom line of it is, I'm going to focus on the positives here. It is a good looking game. I honestly think that. I think the shots are good. I like and they've listened to the market. They've gone down fast hardware. And I know fast hardware.
Great.
I'm building with fast hardware. It really is worth the money.
I know. Look, Aaron, hats off to Aaron for helping these guys along a path that they had so far failed on. That when I heard that bit of news, I was thinking, okay, maybe things are changing.
Bally William mechs are going to be in there. We're going to have like traditional, basically stuff from Pinball Life, I imagine, right? So it's going to be like the flipper mechs, the drop targets. They've got rid of their stand. They even admitted, right? Because this is the funny part. Enzo didn't have a fucking clue, which made me laugh. By the way, Enzo, no offense, mate, but you didn't have a fucking clue. The stand-up targets in Alien were the fucking worst. I experienced them all the different versions. I had the first prototype one, which was an absolute joke. The metal was so malleable that you could bend it with your finger. It was like the target was basically bowing after the first hit. And then the second one, they still snapped. They were crap. And the third revision, they kind of nailed it. But at that point, the damage was done. They've admitted it, and they've done a little tongue-in-cheek in the brochure where it says super stand-up targets in the brochure. And Enzo was like, "Oh, what's that? Does that mean it's got like some sort of special, like, meter built into it?" So that and Daniel is just sat there awkwardly going, "No, it's not that. It's not that."
This is kind of my frustration when people. Look, I built the internet to help people get their message out, but when we were building the internet, none of us thought that as much anti-knowledge as knowledge would come out.
Sure.
Right? And this is one of my frustrations, where you got a lot of people talking about pinball that just have no experience of it, and that's a perfect example. No disrespect, but folks, when you're out there looking for your opinion and trying to gauge your opinion, make sure you spread bet across a lot of content creators.
Yeah.
And listen to us last, because
I hardly profess to be an expert, but it's just
we're not experts. But it's hard for us to, Scott.
I am an enthusiast without a doubt. I live and breathe this shit.
We're here for the passion of it, the fun, and we'll come back to World Cup shocker in a minute, and that's not me doing a Sean Connery impression. That's literally what we called it. But now, so like, fair play. So the thing I don't get is they managed to leak two things. They leaked the release video, because
Yeah.
that came out before. Then they leaked the gameplay video. I
Yeah.
mean, honest to God, that guy, if he hasn't
Well, no,
been, hasn't had
that
his
wasn't.
spine
Look,
hung on a
clarify
tree.
that was the second video leak was a distributor doing that, not the
Yeah,
marketer.
but even so, Scott, if you know that the first one's gone, right? What do? Do you sit there and think, "Oh, I'll be back"? No, you fucking fixed the second one, right?
I'll give you this. They obviously are in a very awkward situation with Fox at the moment. Or I say Fox, it's Disney.
20th
Really, right? It's
century,
Disney.
they're
20th
called.
century, I should call themselves now, right? Yeah.
Disney.
So Disney, God, fucking I hate Disney. But anyway, at least they let them have it as an R-rated cabinet. I was pretty. Although I did laugh.
Yeah.
Right, a quick tangent on that. I did say to my wife, I keep buying this scary looking shit, and I've got a newborn on the way.
I know,
like,
mate. You're gonna have to.
I've got literally dead bodies on the side of the cabinet.
You're gonna have to lock the door, mate. And
I am. I'm going to traumatize my child. But anyway, like, look, I was going to say, well, I've completely lost my train of thought on this. The fact is that they are in a very awkward position licensing wise. It's obviously obvious that they are. I think they will get Arnold in it. It's just not yet, and they have promised it. And I just wish. And again, we'll talk about the others soon because Barrels of Fun done something similar with Dune, right? In terms of like the awkwardness around Lionsgate. I just wish companies would just get their bloody assets sorted first, and then release the game. Even Harry Potter had problems, as you know, with the artwork. So
it still does by the looks of it. I mean, look, I think, if I go back to Kong for a minute, right?
Sure.
So here we go, right? So Evil Dead, Spooky nailed it, right? Chris, mate, you are Evil Dead is one of my biggest Grail themes, right?
Oh, nice.
And the artwork and the assets in it, Chris, and the team around the artwork, the video stuff, the way, I mean, you guys just smashed it. I mean, really, really smashed it. The game looks stunning. It's our most played game in the club. In fact, so much played it, we managed to break it. But
nice.
And again, I've given Spooky a load of shit in the past about reliability.
You have? Yeah.
This game has been hammered. I mean, literally hammered.
Out of interest, what did break on it? What was it the part that broke?
So I don't know the cause because I wasn't there, but it looks like a coil got stuck and it blew a MOSFET, right?
Oh, okay, so you got a lock coil. Okay.
Yeah, and look, that's a pinball thing. I've had
it's
that
a
happen
pinball
on
thing.
every manufacturer. So I'm not. This isn't a kind of punch in the kidney of Spooky.
Yeah.
In fact, it's very much the opposite. I dropped them an email, told them what happened. They sent me and they literally almost within 2 days from the US to the UK. 2 days.
That's priority
right?
delivery. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was amazed. 2 days, they sent me a new board, so I can get the game up and running right away.
Yep.
Right. They sent me the coil, which actually we've already replaced. I wasn't worried about the coil. Coils go I see them as semi.
Oh, they're just perishable items, right?
Yeah, semi-perishable. Not again. Not that you have to.
They
replace
shouldn't break,
every
but
year.
they
They
can.
shouldn't break, but occasionally. That's the nature of pinball, right?
Sure.
And they sent me a bag of MOSFETs that will last me for like 100 years. So, first of all, thank you for that. Thank you for sending that right away. The game, I don't know, I'm probably going to not get to the club till Thursday, so the game will be back next Thursday. But the great thing is I can take that board out. We've got the MOSFETs, we'll fix it, so we've got a spare board now, so we can swap it in and out. And I they didn't have to do that. They could have just sent the MOSFETs. I really appreciate them doing that. And literally, 24-hour turnaround. Sorry, 48-hour turnaround. It's hard to complain about that. So we'll get the game back up and running. And I swear to God, it has been unbelievably reliable for the amount of plays that it's had. And I've got pretty good view of the plays because I've got Insider connected on the and Scorbit on the Stern games. I've got Scorbit on just about every other one of my games. It's not on every game, but it's on enough of them that I know which ones are the played ones. And Evil Dead's been up there. People have come to the club to play it. And actually, there's a few people a bit narked because they were going to come last weekend, but we had to say, sorry, the game's down. Actually, just on that, Pinball Republic, if you want to look at our game list is now managed exclusively by Pinball Map. So get the Pinball Map app and have a look at the latest games. It'll always be up to date. Those guys do an epic job. If you're ever looking for pinball, get the Pinball Map app. It is absolutely amazing, and the guys there do a phenomenal job of keeping.
Should have a sponsored section at this point there, Neil.
Yeah, well, we could do, but these guys, again, I don't think they make any money out of it. They do it for the love of it. If they do make any money, it's I don't know how, but certainly, I'll happily wear some sort of weird suit and saying, "Pinball Map, it's the map for pinball," and people will love it, right? We'll do a jingle; it'll be glorious.
You're such a promoter of adverts.
Anyway, so thank you to Spooky, right? So they do a great job on that, right?
Yeah.
Then I look at, and then the next guy I'll mention Kong, right? Keith has smashed on Kong. It is such a good game. It is unbelievably good. Of course, everyone's saying that McCrae is such a fucking Stern shield, blah 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 blah, blah right? Just honestly, if you've seen the shit that I've given Stern when they haven't got it right, all I can tell you is I am no shill, right? But I will give credit where credit's due. Now, the thing I'm going to give Stern a bit of credit for, and they've had a kick-in for this, is so Stern went with their own unlicensed version of Kong, right?
Sure. Original title.
Who is the only, apart from Spooky and Evil Dead, right? Who is the only pinball company not to have some bizarre licensing bullshit on their big release this year? It's Stern. And you know, this is just another reason why they went that route, is because working with these licensors is super difficult and getting more and more and more difficult as there's consolidation.
I agree, but theme sells. And on no offense, Kong does nothing for me. Like, I'm not going to sit there and put down 15 bags of sand on a original IP. Sorry, it's just not. It's not. I think the price is ridiculous. Like, if it's an original title, it shouldn't be priced more expensive than an actual IP like Predator or Harry Potter. It shouldn't.
And look, I kind of respect that view. I don't agree with it, but I respect that view. And,
sure.
And it's the same with when we come on Harry Painter. Sorry, Potter. That was an AI thing.
Yeah.
No, so look, I all I can say on Kong is so I got the game actually 2 weeks ago. We had it at the league finals for London and South East. The reason the place is a mess behind me because we're a big. I got games coming out of my ears at the moment. I need to get my shit together. I've not been here to sort them, but literally had a great weekend of pinball with the league. 3 top games that people were actually 4 top games that people were raving about. The one that got the most raves, right? Uncanny X-Men, and people are going to say what?
Yeah, I would be one of them.
Irrespective of what people think, right? And you know, back
what's going on with the whole thing around code, though, right? Because
let me come to that. But in September, I said this was a brilliant game. It is a brilliant game. The play field on it, Jack Danger, you're a fucking superstar, mate. That play field will be, I genuinely think it will be seen as an all-time classic, right? Now, is it fair to say that Stern have not done a great job on code? I think right now it's hard for me to defend it, right? Very hard for me to defend it.
Especially when Jack Danger himself has put out a post, which then got somehow deleted.
Yeah, I don't know what the story with that is. But if you put a poster like that, deleting it, man, it just all you're doing is magnifying the fact that it was there in the first place. So, marketing genius.
Once it's on the internet, it can't be removed.
Marketing genius that said somehow delete it. No, it's like, and look, the Pinball Brothers have just felt the pain of that because I managed to record the trailer. They pulled the trailer. I posted it on my YouTube. Woohoo! I get hits on my YouTube. You know, once it's out there on the internet, I've been building the internet since 1991, and when you get something on the internet, it never, ever, ever goes away. It's just impossible, right? So just don't do it. Just figure out, make a joke around it. Do what the guys at
own it. Yeah, it's a bit like Zach.
Wendy's Burger, right? Someone posted something, and they made a joke out of it. They're now like they changed social media because they're now the most watched social media channel in the world because they kind of just say it how it is, right?
Have you ever seen like flipping out like reveals on his games that he does?
Yeah, he actually
That is, yeah.
Zach, mate. You probably
He's
don't
really
listen to it.
leaned into his like, you know, shill kind of like he gets called or whatever it is, and then he really
Yeah,
leans into
and
it.
fair play, but
Yeah,
look at the content. There's
he's really good
two
at doing his videos as well.
yeah, these videos. Honestly, Zach, mate, forget pinball. Go fucking get a job producing videos full time, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, all the videos that you do. I actually asked Joel who he uses to do his videos, and Joel said he thinks it's himself. And I said,
really good if
wow.
that's the case.
And look, I've worked in broadcast media. The quality that you put out is that, mate, you get a job anywhere. Seriously, I'm not.
I also
freaking...
want his trolley. Have you seen that? The
Yeah,
theme
so I've been trying to buy one of them, mate. I tell you,
so good.
the only way I can get it is if I buy it from Zach and he ships it on a crate for me, which is not cheap. But actually, if anyone's interested in a group buy on the Escaleras, right?
Is that what they're called? Okay.
Ping us, yeah, Escaleras, right? Ping us, because maybe if we could get like 3 on a pallet, it would be worth doing.
Yeah, I'll probably be in for one of those.
It's
They're
probably
really nice.
grand. It's probably $1,000, depending on
Wow.
timing for a pallet.
Okay.
So, but if we split that 3 ways or 4 ways, if we get 4 of them on a pallet, it starts to look.
How much
not
are they
so-
each though?
I don't know. They're not cheap though. Let me tell you, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I have looked at them with envious eyes, many times. Anyway, let's move on. So,
Yeah.
Kong, Stern, okay, it's not licensed. The game is amazing. The top part of it, where you're doing these combos between the two upper flippers, man, when you pull that move off, you are giddy for days. I mean, literally, oh my fucking god! It is so cool. The Kong movement is cool, but they got work to do on that, no question about it. It's still early code. The modes are hilarious. They got this mode where you have to plunge the ball to oblivion. It's just very different, very inventive, very simple and hilarious fun. And it just feels like a good game. I think the music's probably not as good as it's not. I would like a kind of. It kind of feels very jungly, which of course is the jungle
Very
game, right?
Congo-esque to me, but there we
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
and it's not. I mean, it's beautifully produced, and the sound quality is awesome as always. But it's just, I just feel that it's the bit that I would.
Don't you think the call-outs fall a little flat? I think there should be more humour in it, personally.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, right? And actually, I was going to say this. I think the main guy that's doing the call-outs is the guy that they've been using, since Jurassic Park.
Sure.
And maybe even before. Stern, you need to retire that guy. I mean, he's amazing, but he's just too. You just hear him in everything now. Is it even one is like it says blah 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 to fight T-Rex? It sounds almost identical to do this to fight Godzilla. I don't know. It just feels
I just
like
think we need some fresh blood and variation.
yeah,
for the
it
love
feels.
of God.
Yeah,
Don't
look,
you say I? But there we go.
Nothing would be better than a brass Scotsman doing call-outs, right? Get to the chopper! No, seriously, I'm up for it, man. We'll record it. We'll record it until it's
You're right now.
pristine. That would.
I bet Alexa struggles.
People would refuse to buy it. I'm not buying that game. That fucker McRae's in it. It'd be worse than AIR.
Come on, let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on. So, look, Kong's great, and then Harry Potter, right?
Harry Potter. Yeah.
I have to say, please, if you get an image released of your game, if it's a leak or whatever, right? This has happened with Star Wars, it happened with Pirates, it's happened with so many games. Some low-res, stupid potato cam. In fact, it's not even a potato cam. It's a bodged cam, or it's like
some low-res fun now, isn't it?
Copied off a phone from the 70s.
Yeah.
And people look at it, and it just drives confusion and uncertainty, right? Here's my uncertainty. I looked at it and thought, God, this looks... I mean, I genuinely thought, I just couldn't figure it out. Because it's a complex... Especially on this, it's a complex playfield.
Very, yeah.
finally the playfield comes out, and I'm like, oh, this looks. I have to say, I was excited about the game, and I can't stand Harry. In fact, yeah, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. In fact, I can't stand it. I think it's awful. I'd love to do like a Harry Potter spin-off where I get beamed in with phaser banks and kill all the fuckers.
I watched all the movies again with the wife recently.
Right.
We were basically. I'll be honest with you. It was initially like I'm getting June. Then we'll talk about June in a bit, so I don't want to go too far into it. So I'll give my reasons later why I discounted it.
Yeah.
Then it was going to be all Harry Potter, and I was like, the more I watched it, the more I was like,
nah,
this is not Harry Potter. Like don't get me wrong. People will be like, what the hell are you on about? Of course it's Harry Potter. It's not, because, and I'll tell you why.
It's not your version of Harry Potter. That's the problem.
It's not the film version either, and it's because it's using film assets. Is why I think it's a bit like JGP. Come on, they have this thing where they just go, we can do RGB, and they go RGB, and they just go like rainbow everywhere, rainbow. You can get away with that in the first film. You can get away with that in the second film. By the time you've hit the fourth or fifth film, the tone, you can look this up, right? If you look up the color palette for the movies, it gets darker and darker and darker and darker to the point where it's like basically blues and blacks.
But you know what's nuts about this?
Yeah.
They were using that rainbow on Godfather.
I know. I don't get it.
So you go and kill a few people. Rainbow! What the actual... Honestly, please, JGP, make a game with no rainbows. I dare you.
It's such a code. It's an easy code thing, right?
It's literally, they've got like a cheesy rainbow brackets code, right? They just, and if all else fails, call cheesy rainbow. That is there's like a default bit of code that just is like, it's like a handler. Oh shit, we've missed something. Cheesy rainbow.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, and people are going to get offended by this, but I could care less. If someone does a refurb of a game and they switch it from incandescents to LEDs, they do coloured
LEDs.
I fucking hate coloured GIs with a passion. 100%. When you got someone doing a Star Trek Next Generation, it's full of blues and purples, and it's saturating the playfield, and it's sucking the colour out of the game. Just use white. Just use white. Do you know what? If there was an option in JJP's code to just say turn off rainbow and just do white, I would probably do it. I really would.
I think everyone would. Even Bill Brandis, he would do it too. But so the I mean, Harry Potter, I've always said was going to be difficult for whoever built it. I have to give credit to Eric.
He obviously is a Harry Potter fan.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
And I'll let you finish, but there's a pit where I find contention with that.
Yeah, no, look, Harry Potter, it's brave for someone to take that on, because it just means, for me, it's a terminal turn-off. I honestly can't stand it. I watched the first movie and literally wanted to pull my eyes out of my head. It was so bad. Anything like muggles, and I'm like, nah, sorry. And that's why, it's probably the same reason why I'm less an Avatar fan, because it's got its own. When you've got this own language, I just think it's just not. Just doesn't work.
It's not heavy language though, is it? It's not like you're learning Klingon or something.
No, but it's but actually that's part of the problem. It's not. It's kind of half-assed in my view. If you're going to do a language, then do a language, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more of a slang and a slur that they use the word muggle, right?
Maybe. I mean, look, it just doesn't work for me. Anyway, but I looked at it and I thought, actually, hats off, Eric. I'm not sure anyone could have done anything as good, and I definitely know anyone. I don't think anyone could do anything better. Now, does that mean it's perfect? I mean, there aren't issues.
I mean, the mech is incredible.
Like, that staircase mech is beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. The upper playfield looks insanely fun. I mean, this thing, I wish we were kind of recording this on Monday. In fact, I might make a quick addendum on Monday.
I will be vacant.
I'm playing it tomorrow.
Maybe we'll be there. I don't know. We'll edit.
Yeah, no, you'll be like Arnie. You'll just be. I'll be back. So yeah, I'm going to fill Pinball Heaven's having a party, and he's invited everyone except Scott to his party,
I love it.
and it's basically we're going to be in an unbelievable sweatshop for the weekend playing pinball.
Yeah,
The hottest
130
weekend,
people
hottest
crammed into
weekend.
3 business units.
Yeah,
Good
I
luck.
know the hottest weekend of the UK, and we're rammed in this tiny little. But anyway, fair play to Phil. He's pulled out a few games. Jack the Mangoriani. How do you spell his surname? How do you say his surname?
I'm not going to
Anyway,
butcher it.
so I don't mean any disrespect by that, but Jack is going to be there, and I'm going to be asking Jack the tough questions. Question number 1.
Here we go.
If the playfield screw up, are you going to fix them? Question number 2. Are you going to shoot the idiot that put USB-C into the game? And not even the right USB-C. You can actually put a USB-C in that would make the game work brilliantly, but you cheaped out and bought crap. Question number 3.
Wait, go back. Sorry, you mean like USB-C as in the port? What do you mean? Sorry.
Yes, so Jersey Jack, some genius who's also in hiding in the same place as the PB marketing director, decided that using USB-C would be a good thing for connecting.
Oh, he's used that as the connectivity points between.
Yes.
Oh, instead of like Ethernet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, instead of Ethernet. And this is the thing, right? And actually, look, USB-C is a great protocol, right? But you have USB-C for bozos, right? I.e. your phone, your PlayStation, your
Well,
Xbox.
it's got no
right?
latch mechanism, so how's it going to stay secured?
Well done, Scott. Well done. Even a software guy like Scott has figured it out, right?
I'm a bit more hardware these days, I'd say. There we go.
Sorry, that was unfair. That was unfair. But seriously, right? But USB-C has an enhancement to it for heavy duty shit, right?
Sure.
A military level enhancement that would have cost a few quid more, would have required brains to be engaged. But Jersey Jack, no, we're not going to do this. It doesn't matter that Elton John's all over the planet. I've got a fucking error message as big as the moon on the front of it. No, we're just going to do it again and again and again and again. Because doing the same thing over and over that doesn't work is going to start working someday. No. Honestly, it pained me because I...
Is it they say the definition of insanity is? Repeating the same thing, expecting a different outcome.
Jack. So, look, I'm going to ask him about that. Why? In fact, I'm going to take an industrial USB-C connector with me, and I'm going to give it to them as a prize. And then number 4 or 5, and it is what we've just talked about. For the love of God, turn off casino mode on your games.
Yeah.
No more fucking Rainbow. No more slot machine bullshit. Let's hear the audio. David Teal, the man is a genius. I found out actually. David, he did one of my earliest favourite video games, winter games on the Commodore 64 that had the most amazing music in it. He did the music. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Those are the big questions, and then finally, what's your next game after Harry Potter? And
Wait, you're not going to ask him about the, but you're not going to ask him about the AI?
No, because I just, for me,
I suppose it's a redundant question. I suppose
I build AI platforms. It's kind of my day job.
I work with AI for a living, right? But I mean, like, for me, I have no issue with using AI. But for the love of God, at least vet it.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, lazy complacency, Scott. Complacency. Yeah. That's all about.
I mean, I find myself conflicted because my wife draws playfields for people, and then her role in doing that is come way too late. People will sooner or later, if not already, be designing stuff with AI. And
but Scott, here's one truth, right? If you're a talented artist like Holly is, like, you know, Zombie
and
all these people. You know, all these people that are in pinball, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, they've got nothing to worry about. AI. This is the thing. AI is only as good as the teaching that you give it, right?
Sure.
And until we get to quantum, it's not going to self-learn or self-improve. It's just going to.
I think
mash things up.
That's valid, but only when you have people who appreciate art for its nuance and for its subtleties and for its imperfections. Right, because art is not perfect. That's the whole point.
I mean,
AI art in itself can be perfect, quote unquote. And I think the flaw with it, and if I may, this is the reason why I find the whole thing around AI with JJP a little bit disconcerting. Is that they looked at it and went, "That looks fine to me." Objectively, they went, "That's a pass," and the licensors looked at that and said, "That's a pass."
You assume that they looked at it though.
Well, they should have.
I'm unconvinced. Look, let me.
You've seen examples, right, of the
No,
train
no,
where the
absolutely.
windows are like, some of them are arched, some of them are
The
square.
guy's got a funny hand. There's a guy with 3 eyes or something.
Yeah, where the dragon. Yeah.
Look, I am. I use AI art for the posters for our tournaments at Pinball Republic, right?
Sure.
And I had some bozo on Facebook give me some shtick. Oh, why aren't you paying a local artist to do that? I was like, I don't have any money to pay a local artist. Well, why are you in AI? Because I've got an AI platform that I can use. Oh, well, you're ripping someone off. No, I'm not, because I was never going to pay for it in the first place.
Yeah, you were either just going to put up text.
I would have had some bozo McRae drawing, right? Which could have been super shit. Or I can get AI to knock me up. Hey, we're having a tournament. It's at Pinball Republic, and it's on, I don't know, some crazy theme that I come up with, right? And then some guy emails me to the UK Open website. He says that I was going to come to your gig, but because you've used AI art, and unless you stop using AI art, I'm going to boycott it.
Oh, wow.
My reply, have a nice day. Honest to God. So look, AI is everywhere, folks. So I run a big chunk. Actually, I do a lot of work with AI. My wife runs some of the biggest AI clusters in the world. It's everywhere, folks. It's too late. The genie is out of the bottle, right? And look, are we trying to put people out of work? Are we trying to? No, we're not. This is technology, right? Let me tell you though, one of the AI platforms I use has improved diagnostics in 14 hospitals such that they're able to diagnose patients in half the time they used to. So next time you've been in an accident and your wife or your loved one's in hospital and they've used AI, and there's now twice as much of a chance that she survives, or they survive, because of AI, right? It's a tool. You use it as a tool, right?
Yeah, it's a tool.
And it's got downsides. There's stuff that, like the art, it's messed up on. It hallucinates. You get bad answers, right? It's not perfect. But, those people that are beating it up are the same people that are, like, on their iPhone moaning about jobs. And, wait a minute, that iPhone gets made in China completely automatically, and it's put millions of people building electronics out of jobs. So I just, and
you can't fight progress, right? I say to you, my point really was it's just when I spend 15 grand on a game, I don't expect to see those kind of glaring imperfections on the artwork.
So look, I agree with you on that. I think if Zombie Yeti, drew a picture of an X-Men with 3 eyes, we'd go fucking mental, right?
Yeah.
So AI shouldn't get a pass either, right? If Pinball Brothers draw Arnie with no head, they shouldn't be given a pass either, frankly. But,
no, absolutely.
And also, look, I get it. In pinball, art is a big thing for me.
Art is very prevalent in pinball.
Oh, it's
absolutely.
massive. I mean, it's you just look at the hundreds, if not thousands, of games that are out there. They've all got their individual art, and I'm looking around. I got John Wick. It looks beautiful. Attack from Mars looks amazing. The art on Pulp Fiction is kind of retro, and then you got the kind of mix and Stranger Things. You got Medieval Madness. Actually, I got a special. It's just art everywhere on it. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Some of these are classic art, like on Jaws or Godzilla. Some are completely new, made up, like Kong. You got the stuff that Oryx done for Alien and other games, including Predator. Sorry.
Yeah.
The work that the guys did on Labyrinth. And the stuff that they did on Galactic Tank Force was an amazing set of art. The work and the passion that's gone into it is huge. Elvira, so it annoys me, not that they've used AI, but that they didn't use the same level of introspection that they would have used with human art, right? It just got waved through, when clearly there was an issue. Now, we did hear about some delays with approvals with
We
Harry
did.
Potter. And I can't help but wonder if maybe that's it. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but on all the Harry Potter games, it's got display sample stamped all the fuck over it. I mean, it's on the thing at the top, it's on somewhere at the bottom, it's on the actual playfield, on the back of the playfield, display sample. Which I was kind of staggered by. So I can't help but think if we're going to get a revised art.
You think?
Yeah, well, so look, it looks like they've already fixed one of the AI issues in some of the games that are now going out. I think there's another change happening to the Wizard Edition that's related to a character, which is what I understand caused the delay.
Yeah,
Luckily,
okay.
luckily they didn't use that, as I understand it, on the collector's edition. But I'd say I look at the collector's edition, and I mean, the topper's awful. I don't know what smoke they were
Man, that
smoking.
topper, honestly,
It's
it's
that.
it's
I
the
mean,
incorrect number of towers, and the bloody windows are painted on like some loo roll nursery
Scott,
castle, basically. That's done at the play
complacency.
school.
It's got complacency written all over it. You
Yeah.
know,
I
the price.
realise that they
Yeah,
think probably we don't want to put a heavy amount of weight on a topper because I'll give you an example, right? Barrels of Fun, they do the Henson
yeah,
puppets, right?
yeah.
And basically they are heavy. Like if that, I said to because I no surprise I had to sell it to make room for Predator. But basically having that with a back box down, I was like, "Ugh, that might actually rip the bloody top of the wood off. I think you have to have
No, mate,
the topper off to
100%.
transport
So
it.
look,
So I think for
Evil
transport
Dead.
reasons, I get why JGP does that whole keep it lighter kind of option. But it's a collector's edition. Does it really
Well,
matter that you have to take it off? I
compared
don't
to
know.
stick another box on it. I mean, look, Evil Dead. It weighs a ton.
I bet.
It needs two
Yeah.
people to lift it on the game. It comes in a separate box. It's doable, right? I mean, that's an upgraded topper. The topper that comes with it's just some flat plastics.
Sure.
But look, it's got in a game like that, with the scale of that IP and the money they must have invested. People say 5 million. I suspect it's more closer to 10 overall.
Wow.
When not just for the IP, but for all the effort around the IP, building the game, the code. It's
They've
it's
got to
more
sell
than,
significant numbers though to make their money back. Then.
they have to, but I think they will. Look,
Yeah, maybe.
I think they will. I think the game will sell. I mean, the problem is, and this kind of makes me chuckle. All the JGP fans giving me a kick because Stern couldn't have done this. Stern would have knocked out everyone's game in a month, and rather than there'll be people that are going to be waiting a year to get their game. And if I think about the pinball, the Pulp Fiction process, where loads of people just bailed out on the game because it took so long. In fact, they were happy just to lose $1,000 because they wanted to buy something else because they just didn't want to wait for it. I mean, I was shocked to see that. Although I've done it myself. Rick and Morty, not Rick and Morty. Another spooky game. Not Halloween, the other version of Halloween.
Ultraman.
Ultraman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I bailed on it because basically the feedback I got was the
Man,
game
you
was
dodged a
awful.
bullet anyway. That game's worthless now.
Yeah, I mean, it cost me $1,000 to bail out on it, but I was like, actually, I didn't have space for it, and
You would have lost more trying to sell it.
yeah, I got told by so many people that it was awful that I just decided to bail out of it. But look, I think I want to say congrats to JGP because I think they've pulled off a success in spite of almost screwing it up themselves. With again silly little things. The one
Well,
thing
jury's out. I can't say that until I've played it. If I'm honest.
look, I haven't played it either, but I think they've got enough people happy about it. Look,
Yeah,
the thing that is so the only thing that worries me is the code looks boring. I mean, I got a lot of stick for this. In fact, I got a 3-day.
I said to my wife, right, because
Yeah.
we were taking the piss. We were watching the gameplay video, and we said it's like, oh look, collector's edition Moldy Ball. You drained the ball. Moldy Ball, drain Moldy Ball. Like it just feels like there's a multi ball for everything. You got Golden Trio multi ball. You got fucking the what is it? The Deathstalkers multi ball. You got Quidditch multi ball, and you're trying to get into a bloody mode, and it's like then the movie clips are being overridden by the multi ball, and it's literally like I tell you what it is. I know what it is now. It's sensory overload. That game
Yeah,
is designed for the
yeah.
iPad generation of kids that can't spend more than 5 seconds looking at something before they have to flick the screen. So they are just going, oh my god, look at this, this is going on. Oh, by the way, you've got 96 modes. Oh, you've just passed one. Oh, there goes another, there goes another, there goes another. It's like, nah, done.
Yeah, I don't
Done.
know. I don't know
Couldn't do it.
if it was
I know
designed
you
for that
like it. I
generation.
know you praise it,
No,
but
no, no,
holy
no. So,
god,
no, no. Look,
that
look,
is a
look.
mess to me.
The
I'm sorry.
the code. So look, I'm with you on the code, right? And
Yeah.
look, it wouldn't be the first JGP game where they've done a great playfield and ballsed up the code, right? Godfather, Avatar, just totally messed up on code, right? So one of the issues with the code is you have to hit a hard scoop to start a mode, right?
Yeah.
Just brain dead, especially on a game like this. Okay, on Godzilla it's slightly different because it's not Godzilla as a game. I think more of a game aimed at pinball people. Harry Potter can't be that because it has to have a bigger sales audience. But here's the thing I noticed about the code. And actually, I got kicked out of I got moderated for 3 days out of the hype.
Neil got banned from something. Oh my god.
Yeah, I wasn't. But the thing is, I was a bit marked about it because I was just stating like exactly what I felt, and people said, "Oh, you're passive." What was it? Passively, I don't. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the mods pin side have got a really hard job. Super respect to them. But what I posted was so I watched. There was some person was streaming it. There's a guy and a girl, and the guy went off to, I don't know, have a dump or something, and she's playing it.
Right.
And here's what I saw. Right, half an hour of general excitement, and then another half hour of, so what the fuck do I do now? It just like
I get this. I said to you this as well. I don't know why people like seeing 50 million lights on the playfield and then going, well, that one does this bit and that one does that bit. I just want it to be simple. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a simple guy. I'm a Bally Williams era guy. I just wanted to say green is a lock and yellow or red is a target shot, and I need to shoot that. That's all I want.
So I think, look, I think I think I want a mix. I want a bit of both. But here's what I definitely want. I want a game that with my eyes and ears I can figure out what I need to do.
Sure.
Right? And the other criticism I've got and sorry, Mark, I love you, Mark. You're a great guy. But honest to God, it feels like you're giving a PowerPoint presentation where you're literally reading the freaking slides. It is, the call-outs are absolutely horrifically annoying.
I think that was really weird, right? Because Mark Silk, if I'm not mistaken, is the voice actor for the sorting hat for the toy range.
Yeah, he is.
Right?
And there's no sorting hat in the game.
There's no sorting hat. So I'm just like, you've got Mark Silk in, you've obviously got asset rights, which they said they had full rights, but they chose not to make him do the sorting hat voice.
Well, there's no Voldemort in it. Apparently, my daughter Jade is the biggest Harry Potter fan. So I've been sending her pictures of this, and the first thing she replied with is where's Voldemort? And the second thing is why does I can't remember his one of the characters. He's got
to be in it, surely.
No, he's not. The ginger-headed guy that's in it.
Oh, Ronald Weasley.
Ron. She said, "What happened to Ron's face? Because his face
yeah, that's
is
the AI
mangled.
buggery, though. That's what that was.
I think it is.
Absolutely.
So I noticed that right away as well. I thought that looks just weird.
They took a. There was a whole thread on some pinball forum there. The guy went through and analysed a lot of the shenanigans around it. One of that is him on the where he's got the Quidditch cap on.
That just looks weird. It just looks totally weird. But anyway, and then the other thing she said was where's the Voldemort toy?
There's no Voldemort toy. Yeah, you'll give you that.
And it's like, but he's like the main guy.
They chose to do a Deathstalker instead, which is kind of a bit more like it's one of his henchmen, right?
Yeah, but it'd be like, I don't know, it'd be like having like Godzilla.
I don't know. I kind of get it, right? Because Voldemort's not in there until the very end, right? Because it's all about Harry stopping him from, basically materializing himself back. Because of course he's trying to fight. He's not truly dead, but then he's kind of rebuilding himself, and each film is about him finding different ways of materializing himself, so to speak. But like, I think if you had him straight up there, it would have been awkward. I think it's probably better recognized in video and code. if I'm honest.
Right.
I
Well,
probably would disagree with that,
I
but there we
honestly
go.
got no idea about it.
But it goes back to my thing. Like, if you have Voldemort as a wizard mode, which I imagine you do, right, or it's coming, and then suddenly it's got rainbow lights everywhere. I'm sorry, it just loses the impact and grandeur of the environment to me. It's like just they seem to be afraid to do a bit of horror, and I know Harry Potter is not horror, but as it got older, because the books were for kids, and so the audience grew with it, right?
Quite dark,
Yeah, it does. It goes. I mean, God, in the books, I think it's like Dumbledore gets hung. It doesn't get shown in the film because they decided not to do it. Yeah, he gets hung. Like literally, like they tied him up on ropes and they hung him and they killed him that way. And they didn't do that. They did a whole falling scene or whatever, like Die Hard style, with Dumbledore in the movies. But it gets really dark in the books, and that's what I mean. It's like
if they did that in the movies, I might watch them if there was a bit more kind of.
Oh, it does get more like people die in it.
Like a ninja sword and starts hacking them all to death.
Well, no, there's nothing like that.
Okay, that's bollocks.
But it does get more adult tone as you get into later movies.
My daughter said that, but I mean, she looked at it and she said, "Granddad, sorry, Dad, you got to buy that." And I'm like,
You buy anything.
No, I'm not going to buy it.
You'll probably get it like. Have you bought it Elton John yet? I can't even remember if you bought it.
No, I wanted. So again, look, I have this thing.
Go on.
Some people call it stupidity. I call it principles.
You said you would never buy JJP Direct, but I thought you would buy one second hand.
No, I'll buy one second hand, and actually, I nearly bought one. I just don't believe in if someone lets you down, like a company. I just don't believe in giving them more money. It's like why would you do that? Why would you do that? It just feels nuts to me. Anyway, Harry Potter. I think I'm gonna give if I give Spooky 10 out of 10 for a launch.
Sure.
I'm gonna give Harry Potter 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna give.
Based on what though? Go on, give me some pros and cons.
Based on my own opinion.
All right.
I'm gonna give Kong. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 because there's a couple of issues that people are having with the game.
Okay, so no, give me some context then, because I thought you were talking about like teasers and leaks and then release.
Oh, okay. Let me rephrase it for that then. Right, I'm going to give Spooky 10 out of 10. I'm going to give Harry on that basis. I'm going to give Harry Potter probably an 8.
That generous, okay. Despite the whole like leaked playfield image showing through in low res.
I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I think I have to give Stern kind of 9 out of 10, and the only reason they're losing a point is actually I kind of feel like I have to give them 10 out of 10 for the launch because it went
smoothly, right?
It went smoothly, yeah. There was no big issues.
I think the only thing I'll be honest with you, is that it didn't live up to the hype in my book. I expected a bit more Godzilla. Here we go, boom! This is the next big monster hit. I think what didn't help is that in the videos, and I can't remember which video it was, maybe it was behind the scenes or something, someone, and whether it was Keith Elwin or not, I don't want to speak out of turn, said, it's not the design of the game we wanted to build, but it was the one we were assigned.
Yeah, so I heard that as well, and I kind of grimaced when I heard that a little bit. But
there's nothing worse than having no passion behind something you're making.
No, but I think also you have to be authentic, right?
Absolutely, but it just feels like, I don't know, like does he not like doing monster themes then? Is he just being forced to do something because they told him to? That's a bit sad, really.
Well, I don't know. I think if Keith really didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. So
yeah, maybe. I'd have to ask him.
I still feel that that they did a top job on launch.
On launch material, it's fine, right? It wasn't like X-Men.
I think no.
X-Men was bad.
Why on launch?
Yeah,
really?
Mate, God, come on! Jack Danger dressed up in the costumes and couldn't hit a bloody anything, and they were tired. You could tell they were tired.
Yeah, that you're right. That one video kind of did shoot them a bit in the head. I'm going to say for June, I'm going to say
June was not good.
I'm gonna give them. So I'll be honest with you. I'm giving them. In fact, I'm not going to give them the score because the whole June launch has just bypassed me entirely. I know very little about the game. I watched a
I've been
few
honest
videos.
with them, and I've messaged them direct, and I said they've mislaunched the game. And I'll
Yeah,
tell you why. And
that's
this
the
is
sense I
why
get.
I was going to buy it. I was committed order, and I transferred my money. I said no, it's just sorry, David, I'm not buying it anymore. It's like the assets are not there, and it's like you've had a month, and I'm sorry, it's absolutely it's a joke that as a pinball company, you've had a full month to sort this out, and there's no material. The people who have received the game won't put any videos up because they said they'll get an NDA or whatever it is. They said they can't put it up because the assets haven't
Well, even
been
if
approved.
you've bought the game.
Yeah, that's what they do. They didn't put it up. Have you not noticed? There's no live streams of the game or anything because anybody who
Okay,
has
that's
the
why I
game.
missed it.
Yeah, exactly.
So look, in that case, it's a 0 out of 10.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's an absolute bodgery. If you want to give someone stick for a bodged launch, it's barrels of fun. I'm sorry.
I mean, I looked at some. There are some videos of mechs and stuff, right? The snake,
Yeah, the snake,
the snake mech looked quite cool, but
the worm, for the god love
yeah.
of God, Neil. It's not Voldemort.
Yeah. I'm not. June's not. As you can tell, June's not another
I
big
could
eye.
tell. Yeah.
But look,
Snake.
I think they did a decent job on Labyrinth. June, it just feels like the whole thing's been like a. It's almost like being a dream. Yeah, it just feels like they just didn't land it at all.
I think you go back to your panic statement at the beginning of the show.
Yeah,
it was all about getting it out before Kong.
Yeah,
and Stern being Stern. This is Stern all over, by the way, because I know you love them. But every time some other company is about to come out and say, "Hey, we're about to release a game," they go, "You release, everyone. Ignore that. Here's ours." And it's like they do it every time. They do it every time.
I don't think they do that at all.
They do. They absolutely do.
I think you could believe that, but I think
I believe it. Trust me.
I think Stern, in this scenario, and it's something that I applaud George Gomez for. George doesn't really care about the competition. We'll
agree on that statement.
What he cares about is making sure he and his team do a great job.
He's focused on him, but I still think. But that goes back to my statement that they are absolutely doing it tactically. Like if you think about, we go about panic in the industry, right? And people are worried about getting games out early, beating certain other releases, and trying to vie for people's cash because it's more limited than ever, right? We've got wars going on. We're probably going to face World War III soon. The economy, literally, it's heading that way. Let's face it. The economies in most countries are in the
launching my missiles.
Yeah, exactly. We won't go into politics here because it's way too much. No. But anyway, we're now in a position where people are basically going, you need to convince me to spend my money on you.
There's more supply than demand. There's no question.
Yeah, absolutely.
But look, this is why if you're a pinball company and put out 1,000 games a year, you're more challenged to some respects on being able to do the big IPs, right? And that this is where Stern, they've got a scale advantage. I don't think they take advantage of it enough, though. So look, I mean, I'm good. And this isn't to beat up on the game because I haven't played it. I've seen some videos of it, but it feels like it's just bypassed me entirely.
I wanted to love June. I'm a massive June fan. I love the films. I think they're great. My wife was like, "Buy this. You can have this. I will let you have this because I want this game." And it's just so disappointing to me that out of all the, as you say, like you get Evil Dead, all the assets are done, smooth transition, the game's out, gameplay's good, all good, hunky dory, great. Show me where I need to pay.
Is this NDA on shipped games because they haven't?
Yeah, they've got it literally slapped as a white, transparent text that says assets to be approved or something like that. And there's no call out.
They did that with Bond when they launched Bond. And in fact, there's a
it goes
Bond.
back to why do pinball companies do this? Just don't release the game until it's ready.
Right, I know. I agree. So there's a Bond in a bowling alley near where I live here. And it's still running release code, which is awful.
That's quite funny.
You know what? This is the other thing. I offered, right, to take what's the word?
Bring a USB stick or something with them.
No, I offered to adopt the game, right? Give me the keys. I'll come every now and again. I'll spruce it up. I'll make sure it plays well. I'll put the latest code on it. I'll get it on the internet because it's got insider connect. They haven't even done that. And I said, I'll do it for nothing. They said, oh, well, think about it. And I pinged them. We're still thinking about it. I pinged them, no reply. I'm like, what the actual... So, next time I have a gig at my house, we're going to have a guerrilla update. I did this once before. We had to play Aerosmith in the league, and there was only one Aerosmith publicly you could play. It was running ancient code. So a bunch of us went in with a USB stick and a whole set of the default keys. We managed to open the game, put a USB stick in, reboot it, update the game, and then kind of get the game all back up and running perfectly. We literally did it in 20 minutes whilst in the pub, and we're like, it was like we're standing around it like it was kind of, I don't know, a young I don't know,
some sort of seance. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Literally, we're hiding this thing. And we got the game updated, and actually it was great because the updated code was fantastic. I think the last code release they did some massive improvement, as Stern often do. Right, so let's move on. Predator, I'm going to give Predator 1 out of 10.
Wow.
And I'm giving it, and the 1 is purely for the artwork, because even though trying to deliver a compelling art theme with no assets is, I mean, it just must have been so difficult. I think they ballsed this up when they started with the whole leaking process. You know, not leaking, but the
teasing.
The teasing bullshit, man. I don't know.
That's the thing, right? Like Retro Django, as in Genghis, was like,
oh my God,
this is. Yeah, I know you don't like him. I could tell.
Don't like him. He just talks rubbish.
Well, it's just he doesn't listen to people because he has this attitude of, if you're wrong, I don't care. This is me. This is that. Yeah. And he starts going on about how, Europe, it's their game. They can, like, if it suffers because of tariffs in the US, well, it's our game anyway. Whatever. I was just like, whatever. I don't care. But like it's really
like a true master of business.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought, to me, it's like, he didn't seem to understand the criticism. Every time there was someone being like somewhat just positively critical, saying, "Can we stop with the teasers? Can you just release the game, or can you confirm these elements that are missing or not?" Because it's pissing people off, and then he's just like, "Oh, this is all the fun. This is great. It's building hype. I'm getting all this positivity. Let's just focus on the positives." And I was just like,
I tell you what, it wasn't building hype. It was building anti-hype.
It was building. It was building detestment. That's what it was building.
And basically people were talking about it. I mean, this is the problem, right? If you're like Ferrari, you can do what they tried to do, right?
Sure.
Because you're going to get a top-end, beautiful car that everybody's going to be jealous of, right? And you're going to love driving it. It's going to sound amazing. Life is just going to be good, right? If you're Pinball Brothers, who are just coming out of the huge success of ABBA, the last thing that you're able to do is generate hype, right? The only way you're going to generate hype is to answer the questions that people, quite rightly, have been shocked into having to ask because your last game was such a shitter, right? Is Arnie in the game? Yes or freaking no? And actually, if he's not in the game, that's not the end of the world.
No.
But I just want to know.
Exactly.
Right? I despair of the stupidity of trying to believe that you could use that approach and it would help you sell more games. There's no way that's helped them sell
it's
more
almost
games.
Like they're like thinking, well, people just commit on FOMO, but it's like those days are gone.
So look, look, I am a massive. It's like Evil Dead. I'm torn. Having had some reliability challenges with Spooky, I was like, I really want Evil Dead, but I don't know if I want to buy it.
Yeah.
I got the same thing with Pinball Brothers. I love Predator. It's one of, again, it's anything with Arnie in it. Sign me up, right? I love.
I love his movies. They're all great.
Way, someone please get the Running Man and do a pinball machine. I'll do the voices for Who Loves You and Who Do You Love? I forget his name. Killian, I think his name is.
Is that the one where they say, I buy that for $1?
Yeah, well, no, that's RoboCop.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, someone should do a modern version of RoboCop. Actually, the Data East version is awesome, but
Still good,
a
yeah.
modern version would be welcome. But look, they've, I think art-wise, given they've got they clearly got limited funding to invest in this game, so they're doing like a pay-as-you-go. You'll buy a few, and then they'll update it. They've clearly got a plan for that. They've built the plan in, so hopefully.
Well, I think
they'll get the money.
let's rate the game when you get to play it, which I've heard. David is trying his damnedest to make sure he gets a showroom copy for Pinfest.
Good.
So that will be there at Pinfest. I was going to ask you as well. There is a game I want your opinion on.
Okay.
Because I know Phil just signed off with Hexa Pinball, which is another company in the world of pinball. Like we need any more. Can you tell me what that game is like? I think it's just called Hex. I don't actually know the name of the game.
I'm going to tell you, I've got no idea because it's not been at any of the shows I've been at.
Okay, but it will be at your show on Saturday, is what I'm saying. So
it will be. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll have a play of it then. I'll look forward to it. It's always good to play a new pinball machine.
Yeah.
And put it through the ringer, as they say. And then, look, very quickly, because I know you're on time pressure.
Yeah.
I have to say it, World Cup shocker. So in case
you're... title, didn't you? It was good.
When you posted it, I pissed myself laughing. It was brilliant. So basically, I bought probably the most horrendous World Cup soccer.
I swear to God, I've got cancer. Because of how fucking dirty that game was. So much soot.
I bought this game cheap. I mean, cheap, right? And I kind of looked at it, and it played. This is a bizarre thing. The game actually played.
I'm surprised because the wood was so worn in one area that there was no artwork left. It was just bare wood.
And I looked at it, and there was a couple of things that... This is the thing when you buy. Even this guy sent me hundreds of photos. The guy I bought off. He sold it. Cool. Yeah, he sold it like Luke. He said,
he sold it at bargain basement prices.
Yeah, he knew it was a shitter, right?
Yeah.
So look, but I thought, actually, I think with a bit of novice, it'll be fine.
What's that term they use in Only Fools and Horses? Trigger's broom. It's
Trigger's broom.
Trigger's broom at this point.
So basically. The game arrived, and I looked at it, and I was like...
It is actually... I think about it, actually. The only thing I've kept on the playfield, because you made me change almost everything, I think the only thing original are the lamp boards.
Yeah, so basically...
I honestly think that is the case.
I was trying to see, would I get away with this game? And my answer was, if I put this game on site, I will be guiltier than the most guilty hack operators on the planet because it was in such a state.
It was bad.
So I phoned Scott and said, "Hey Scott, I know you said you're not doing anymore, but you can fit one in just for me." And Scott crazily said yes
on this game. I'm not even joking. I've put in like 12-hour days on the weekends, and then I can put 12 or 6 hours in each evening.
I am. First of all, I'm super grateful, mate. I appreciate that, right? And right. I know Holly's helped you, and she's
mate, it's so funny because obviously she's in third trimester, right? So her tummy is getting kind of like big. Is the way to put it. Yeah. And we're like trying to. She helps me cut the decals, right? So we've got these large graphic rulers that we use to help trim the decal. And her tummy kept pushing the ruler. So I said, stop pushing the ruler. I'm not. Your tummy's pushing the ruler. It's so funny.
Well, look, thing is, we had one issue. We got new ramps from Starship, and one of them was badly damaged.
Massively damaged.
Bit frustrating. Loads of other parts. I mean, literally...
No, I'll give you the list, because I was building the bill of materials at lunchtime today. So you have had... Right, yeah. I'm not joking. This is how everything you've had. New posts, you've had new slingshot kickers. You've had rubbers, obviously bulbs, star posts, metal posts, ramps, plastics, cabinet decals, leg plates. Some new wiring, by the way, in some areas, as well as switches. I honestly think there's. Only thing that's left from the original game on the playfield is the lamp boards and the lamp
Yeah.
sockets, and
And
even some of
the mini playfield, only because
oh,
I
and the mini
can't find
playfield because
one.
we couldn't find one.
Actually, if
Yeah.
anyone's got a mini playfield, it doesn't seem like anyone makes these, which I was surprised didn't actually come with the playfield from.
Oh, and the ball guides, but they
Yeah,
are being reconditioned. To be fair.
yeah, the ball guys are being tarted up by Ant. Thank you, Ant.
Yeah, nice bit of polishing job.
Yeah, I mean, look, so if you want to see this in action, go to Pinball Info and look for World Cup Shocker. Honestly, the job this thing was dirty,
And it was water damaged.
it was
Quite
there's a bit of
badly.
water damage on it,
A
and
bit. A bit.
Scott's used like 9 tons of
Mate,
wood
I'm
filler.
not joking when I said to you when I initially sanded the corner of the back box, it literally plumed. Like if
Yeah.
this was like The Last of Us, if you know the series or the
Yeah.
game, I would have been infected and I would have turned into one of those zombies flying around the room.
Anyway, the good news is it's looking awesome. Scott's almost there.
I am on the final stretch. Yep.
And this game will eventually live in Pinball Republic.
And just putting it out there, I didn't make it up. The CPR holes were missing. It is a thing.
I know. I mean, I don't even. Well, I don't know why people argue shit like that when you're standing there in front of the damn thing.
Yeah, I know what's there and what's
like,
not.
what?
I'm looking at it going, where's my hole?
Kirk gave you the aggro for that.
Yeah.
I gave him some aggro and said, mate, shut the fuck up. We've done enough of these to know that these guys do a bit of a job on the map.
It's not even like limited to CPR. Mirko are guilty of it as well. I had it with Fishtails.
But even some new old stock games can be wrong, right? I've seen that.
It's weird though, right? I'm trying to understand the process. I tell you what, anybody who's in the pinball industry that makes playfields, I am genuinely interested on how you pilot the holes. And is it all by hand? Is it done by machinery? I'm trying to understand why some playfields have those.
Right? So Stern used a press. Williams used a press.
I thought that was just for the T-nuts, but okay.
No, I think they use press for all the holes.
Okay.
So actually, there's a video on my YouTube channel of the Stern factory. Go have a look at it because I took a good zoom of that, how that worked. But yeah, it's done. So
it's literally like a bed of needles pressing down on.
Yeah, it's like a bed of needles, and it goes. Psh, and the one at Stern has been in the pinball industry for like 50 years. Gottlieb used to own it, and then
crazy.
And then Data East bought it, and then Sega.
So in that instance, then is it then the needles sometimes get snapped, and then that's why the hole's missing or something? I'm just trying to understand.
No, maybe, but I mean, I think probably for Stern, it's probably less of an issue because they own it. But I mean, I'm guessing does CPR have a press like that? I don't know. Does Mirko? I would say Mirko has because he's roboticized just about everything.
Sure.
But the thing is if Stern have if I look at say it's Deadpool, they've got the CAD for Deadpool, so it's easy for them, right?
Yeah.
In CPR's defense, they're having a back engineer.
Yeah, they're like reverse engineering.
Yeah, I have to say, I've had 3 playfields done with CPR, and they've all had kind of weird challenges like that. Some of them, like Meteor, I got a playfield from them on Meteor, and where the flippers / sling / center post is completely off.
Oh wow!
Fair play to Keith.
Yeah, I was going to say Keith.
Who've figured out something. It's not standard Meteor. So everyone else plays this is slightly different. I was like, yeah, because we had no choice. But actually, what Keith did made it play really well. So fair play to him. But yeah, so Luke Scott, huge thanks for World Cup Shocker. I can't wait to play it. And hopefully the ramp. We're waiting for a ramp a replacement ramp. Hopefully that arrives soon. I got a few other bits from Mirko for it as well, and Marco. Actually, a big shout out to Marco. They shipped me some stuff very quickly last week. I was
going to say,
United States.
You ordered your fair share of parts, and I ordered my fair share of parts to get this game up and going. But
yeah,
I think like it obviously it would be nice, right? I think like my only part I was upset about, and I know you were like, don't get hung up on it. It was, for me, it was like the decals on one side, it wasn't for me because they were damaged. Because it depends, right? A lot of people say in the industry, if you've got crinkled or crumpled, I should say, decals, you can iron it out to an extent. The issue you get is when you're trying to pull out the crumple area, you can risk basically what they call flecking. I call it flecking. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what anyone else calls it, but it's where particles of paint will lift up and attach because of the static to the vinyl as you're pulling it off, even if you're wet applying it, which is what I was doing. And while you're trying to stretch stuff out, you end up with flecking, basically, because the paint gets lifted. It's definitely not an issue if your decals are fine from the get-go, because it's just apply, swipe, and done.
Yeah.
It's just when you've got damage or crumpled areas, it really adds to the risk. But, it is what it is. As I say, I don't know if you got any response from Pinball.
No, actually, I haven't had a chance to email. They came from PPS. I'm going to email them with the pictures. I just haven't. I've been out of town. I will email them.
Yeah.
But look, great job on it. I can't wait to see it. And again, if you want to play it, we'll be at Pinball Republic at some point in the future.
Getting hammered,
along with a load of other new games. Going to Pinball Republic.
Have you got Dungeons and Dragons at Pinball Republic yet?
It is at the moment. Yes, it's there probably for another couple of weeks if you want to play it. So, Dungeons and Dragons is there for the time being. Evil Dead's there, although it's not working until next week. So if you plan going to see Evil Dead, don't go there before the 27th of June. And new games going in there. I got Doodlebug, which is an epic game. I got UXM. I got Dirty Harry. I got Elvis. I got Sopranos. I got an amazing game, a stunningly amazing game called Solar Fire. Go look it up.
I saw that, yeah.
Stunning game. Got that from... I've been importing loads of games from the US. It's a great thing about the tariffs. The tariffs have kind of shaken up shipping.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more underutilized... bizarrely, there's a lot more random underutilized space. And if you know where to look, you can grab a slot on a plane for really low money because it's empty. But you've got to have your shit organized.
Quick, yeah.
And I've got a cosmic gunfight and a surf and safari. The other game I'm trying to find, folks, if you've got one, God, the name of it's gone in my head. Buffalo Cow. No, what is it? Hold on. I need to look this up because the name's going in my head.
Chris, when you get those games on import, do you have to do much in terms of like changing the transformer out? Because I know, like in some of the like 80s and 90s, all you have to do is change the pin, and then you can obviously change it out to like 230, 240, whatever you need it to be. What do you do with the transformers on the really early ones, like the EMs and that?
So EMs have usually got, again, you have to change the windings. They're usually actually wired. They're usually already wired for it. And actually, I've managed to do all of them. The one game I haven't been able to do is Cleopatra. We're running that off 110 volt transmitter because the transformer was hardwired. I've actually got the transformer for it. I just haven't had a chance to install it. Pretty much every other game. Because remember, during the doomsday of pinball, Europe was the only place you could play pinball legally because the US banned it.
Oh yeah.
So all the games would come to Europe first. So they've always had the
ability to switch.
Yeah, and actually a modern game you don't have to do anything, you just plug it in basically.
Are you buying any modern stuff like the Stern stuff from the US?
I've imported a couple of modern Stern games, yes.
So you're having to change out the boards, or
no?
You found another way. Okay, we won't go into that.
Yes, it's Luke. If you're if you know,
I was surprised by region locking. To be honest with you, is still a thing. It's like because
the only thing I know it's on right anymore is Stern pinball machines. It's not.
Jersey Jack don't do it, do they? Oh.
Nah, not at all. None of the other manufacturers do it. Actually, Pulp Fiction, when I imported that, you need a different plug. And actually, funnily enough, the only place I could get a Europe, the 220 volt, was in the US. No one here in Europe had them. So initially, I nicked the one out of my Cactus Canyon just so I could play it.
Right.
The same setup, and then when it arrived, put it back in Cactus Canyon. So yeah, lots of new games coming to the club. A couple of shout outs coming up. We got Pinburg in July. The UK Open sponsors it. We've got Papa 22, which is raising money for suicide awareness and Lyman Sheets Foundation. And UK Open tickets go on sale the 1st of July. That's 10 days time.
Wow. Yeah, sure.
And loads of other things going on in pinball. Let's see if there's one in Pinfest we got at the end of August. And lots of stuff going on in pinball. Just a reminder to go visit venues. Venues are finding it incredibly difficult. Even we're okay at Pinball Republic, but there's moments where it gets tight. So if you bring you and 5 of your mates round for 5 hours of pinball, cost you peanuts, you'll have a great time. And yeah, awesome. So with that in mind, I know you're on the clock, Scott. And
I'm going to go work more on your game.
Yeah, that's it. I want to. But no, honestly, go check out World Cup Shocker on. I'm going to call it that forever now.
Why not?
Yeah, I wonder if I get a new back glass made. World Cup Shocker. But yeah, no, look, all good. And look, a great job. I mean, look, we've kind of had a bit of a laugh and been a bit critical, but industry's pulled off a lot in the last few months. A lot of hard work, a lot of tears. Again, no one trying to do a bad job, but if you're not, if you're not going for that gap, then you're no longer a racing driver. Remember those great words of Ayrton Senna. And on that note, that would be a great pin. Ayrton Senna Formula One. That would be amazing. Get the music from the Senna movie, which is actually, if I'm going to just plug this, if you haven't seen the movie Senna, I challenge you to watch it. It is an absolute, it's an amazing movie about the story of his career. Very well done, and the music in it is just out of this world. And on that note, we'll say, get to the chopper, Scott. We've got to go.
Exactly.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
See you next time.